Welcome back to the Brush Creek Podcast. I'm your host, Chance Tudor.
And I'm Chaz Truehill. Welcome back to Brush Creek Podcast 27.3. We're back. We're on episode, Chance and I were just talking about the episode 19 already. Once again, we keep saying already every time we do an episode because I feel like it's going by quick and we're just moving right along. So, little spring update, if you will. We've had some temperatures up and down from snow to sweat.
90 degrees
Yeah.
in March.
And also 21.
Yep. And it was, Mike is going to jack up. It was, 21. That was cold.
Yeah. And now I think it was like 80 today, and then tomorrow's supposed to be 53.
53 for the high, 32 or 3 for the low.
For the low.
So
Man,
Saturday morning at daylight, it'll be frosty.
You know, if you don't like Oklahoma weather, just stick around for a day or so. It might hit what you like. Little update from spring break is now over. As most of you know, you're back in school or back to work or maybe back from vacation. My family and I went to Texas to see Parker Warner for our little spring break getaway like we like to do. And got to do a little shed hunting, which I told you guys about that we'd be doing. I told you I would try to bring back a bone pile. If you're watching, you can see that the bone pile is withering away, but there are some sheds there. So I think we found 11 total. I think that's what it was. So anyways, got to bring back some Texas sheds. Most of them are kind of dry and old, but we got it done. I've found one here so far. It's been pretty terrible, which I've only been, I think, 4 times now. So but I had fun. We had a good time.
What's your total? 13?
This year? 13, yeah.
You know what mine is?
Or 12, I guess. What?
0.
Well, I told you the other day you're just one behind now.
I know.
It happened quick. But I had to go somewhere to do it. I mean, it sucks around here. I'm still wanting to go to maybe western Oklahoma if I can break away. So maybe not. But we had a good time. The weather was nice here, and it was 98 one day there, and the wind was blowing about 40 miles an hour. So it's kind of like standing in front of a blow dryer. But that's Texas for you. It wasn't humid. It was just hot. We sweated a little bit, but we walked a lot. Parker and I had done some a little bit of nighttime hunting on the ranch. Had fun. Did a little thermal hunting, and got to call in some coyotes and had a good time. So done that. And of course, the big adventure there is always to go up in the helicopter. I was telling Jess, I think that was it's probably my 8th time, somewhere around there, 7th, 8th, 9th time. And this was by far my best flight time. We flew for 2 hours, which is usually about an hour and 20 minutes. But we spent 40 minutes of the flight rounding up the neighbors' cattle. That's how they round cattle out there, just because the country's so big, so vast. And there were 16 cowboys on horseback that were kind of down there helping with us. And I'd kind of want to get aggravated at them, like, are these guys dumb? Are they not watching what we're doing? And Mike said it's one thing up here to look and be like, how can they not see? He said you get on the ground and you might not see a cow that's 2 bushes away, and I'm trying to figure out why they can't see him 100 yards. So, yeah, I guess it's different horseback, but we helped him a lot and gathered up quite a few cattle for about 40 minutes, and then we hunted for the other hour and 20 minutes or so. And my best, I guess, record, if you will, I shot 24 hogs and 8 coyotes. Coyotes by shotgun, hogs by rifle, which is what we do. We switch out guns depending on what we see coming up. So that was fun. I mean, my best before that was 14 and 6, 14 hogs, 6 coyotes. So 24 and 8 was a kind of a slam dunk on that.
Yeah, pretty big upgrade.
Yeah, pretty fun. And I've had a lot of like 8s and 3s and 10 and 2s, and you usually don't see that many coyotes. And we actually killed 4 of those coyotes within probably a 200-yard circle. It was pretty cool. We were just mowing them down. They were not liking life there for a second, but yeah, it was fun.
Did you get up in the bird while it was super windy?
Yeah, so it's always pretty windy there.
That's what I was going to say. It's always kind of blowing.
It is, and of course, usually at daybreak the wind kind of stops for a second. But when we came back, it was pretty windy, and he, I wouldn't say he had a hard time landing. Mike's a phenomenal pilot, but he kind of had to keep touching just for a second. And he'd set it down and lift back up and set it down, and finally just got it to where he wanted it and shut it down quick. And we dropped the last 6 inches or so. And it's kind of the best way to do it when it's windy. You got to just drop where you're at because you don't want to start drifting. The problem is with a helicopter is your they call it, I don't know, maybe air buoyancy or whatever, and it's pushing back on yourself. So you can get 20 feet off the ground. His grandpa, or Parker's father-in-law's dad, used to take us and and he could just let go of the sticks, and that your helicopter would just kind of sit there and float off of it because it's pushing the air back off the ground.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting. So when you go to land, you have to throttle down enough to not push yourself back up, but there's a lot going on. You need about 5 or 6 legs to do it, and he only has two arms. So
constantly moving.
Oh man, I was telling Chance, he's got one hand on the joystick, one on the throttle, and 2 feet on the the rudder, I guess, or whatever. And looks like quite the operation. He'd probably be good at playing drums if I had to guess.
Yeah, probably.
No, we had a good time though. It was fun. It was hot. We cut the trip a little bit short to get back to my family. My grandma was not doing well when we were gone, and got back home, and she actually passed away yesterday evening. And part of me was sad, and the other part of me was happy that she was with my grandpa, and I'm sure she had missed him. They'd been separated by him dying for 16 years. He had been gone, so I'm sure that was a glorious day to see them back together. And anyways, it was sad, but definitely much needed, I'm sure, for her. So that's she'd been missing grandpa for a long time, and I'm sure that reunion was pretty fantastic in heaven. So
I'm sure.
Yeah, so not how we wanted to come back, but that's life. And told my mom, I was reminded that the Bible says that to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. It's immediate. I told her she's not suffering anymore, and from the minute she was absent from her body, she was with the Lord and with Grandpa. So brought peace to me thinking that. So.
And she'd been sick for quite some time.
Yeah, she'd been sick. She'd had a couple strokes and had cancer, and yeah, man, it's 82 years old. I mean, had a twin sister. Pretty hard on her. They've been obviously twins their whole life. There's 6 girls in that family, and there's 2 older girls that are just singles, and then there's a set of twins and another set of twins.
Oh wow!
Could you imagine?
Two sets of twins.
Yeah. So at house it'd be 7-on-1 for the man, I guess, wouldn't it?
I bet that was rough.
I bet he never won a single battle. 7-on-1. Where we eating tonight, the girls? You tell us. But no, that's a pretty big family, and I think there's 3 of them left now. So, anyway, so my condolences to my mom and her sisters and all the family, and definitely going to miss Grandma Ancy, as Max would call her, but we know that she's in a good place. So she knew the Lord Jesus, and she's resting in his arms. So anyway, so we came back early. I shed hunted one time this morning. Didn't find anything. Went and pulled a couple more traps out that I needed to go pull, and no other real update around here for me. I haven't got to do much, so a little bit of gigging update for you probably.
Yeah, been gigging a couple times, mainly on Uchi. It's about that time where the suckers start to spawn. There's already been kind of like a little pre-spawn a couple weeks ago. We got a flood, brought a few in, but gigging tournament's coming up in about 2 weeks, and
yeah,
I mean they still haven't quite hit yet, so still really need some rain. City of Tulsa's sucked the water out of Uchi, working on the dam, and we could definitely use another one to bring some fish in. Bass are kind of up on the bank. Been hearing of some good bags caught on Uchi.
Yeah.
Uncle Dale.
Uncle Dale that we talk about on here that makes Chance and I's jigs. Him and Andy Hudson went out yesterday, and he said they tore them up. They were catching some good fish all over the lake, really. And he said on 3 or 4 different types of bait. And he told me that at any time they'd had a 22 to 25 pound bag if they weighed in. So he said they were having a good time. So yeah.
I did catch a couple crappie yesterday morning. Yesterday morning. On Wednesdays we're open 10 to 2 at L&L, and so I can got a little extra time in the morning. So I went down to the lake, and I think I caught 9 crappie. They weren't nothing big or anything, but they're sure going to eat good.
Oh yeah,
probably tonight.
That sounds good.
Yep, kind of the first fishing trip of the year. So good little start, I guess.
Larry got him a new little boat. I'm sure we'll be hitting the river a little bit and hitting some catfish in the mouth.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get some good rain like around May.
Yeah, for sure.
That really helps the catfishing.
For sure.
Really, especially down below the dam.
Yeah.
But other than that, mushrooms are starting to come out. It's still really dry. Most of my spots are more April.
I'd say the temperature's getting about right, but
Yeah.
like I said, dry, and then we're going to have a cold spell tomorrow, so it's probably going to be like it usually. Somehow it always works out where it's always middle of April, not really, or not, I guess not middle, it's 1st of April, but you'd think that they're middle of March, like, man, they're going to pop any minute when a little cold spell happens or drought or whatever. But
I would say everything's kind of going to pop right around that gigging tournament time, like it often does.
Yeah.
Second weekend of April is, most of the time the spawn for a lot of things is just right on that during that week. Mushrooms are popping, crappie are spawning. White bass is generally over by then.
Yeah.
But, possible for the carp to be spawning. Bass, probably say they'll be winding down by then. Crappie will just be kicking off, I would say.
Easter is coming up, and I don't know the actual dates, but there's times that Easter is like third week in April, and there's times it's the last week of March. It's a pretty big span of 3 weeks probably, give or take, maybe 4 sometimes. But I was thinking that it's incredible to me. We have a lot of dogwoods at our house, and it's always. I don't know if I've ever saw a time that the dogwoods either done blooming or hadn't bloomed yet when Easter comes, and they just now started opening probably a day or two ago at my house, and you can look out the window and see some white out there in the woods.
Yep. They just started at my house.
It's just crazy. I don't know. It's just part of God's creation that they know when to wake up and
a lot of red buds have bloomed.
Yep, and that's usually a sign for crappie spawn, right? Is that what it is? Or isn't that kind of old
you
white
hear
still?
all that red buds are blooming. Fish are in the creek, or sand bass are in the creek, or whatever.
I'll tell you when they're in there is when they're in there.
That's right.
Never know.
Let's see. Monday morning, I went and listened for turkeys.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I heard 2. I got there right before daylight and got out of the truck and just sat there and didn't even hoot owl or nothing. And heard a couple fire up. Sound like, it's kind of hard to tell, but they sounded like mature birds. They have that longer gobble.
Mm-hmm.
And they gobbled for, I don't know, about 10 minutes, and then it got somewhat daylight, and I couldn't hear them fly down because I wasn't that close, but it sounded like they flew down and then they shut up. So,
and you think about that, we're still 21 days away from season.
Mm-hmm. They've definitely already started to bust up. And
time you guys are listening, probably 19 days away, but it's. Yeah, I saw Jess and I were headed to church yesterday, and we saw a hen right there around Oak Hill across the road by itself, and I've had a few toms on my camera just by themselves, long beards. So
I've talked to a couple people who saw lone hens by themselves, like burrowed up in fence rows. I'm wondering if they're not already nesting.
Could be.
Because, they've definitely – they've been gobbling for a couple weeks now, and it wouldn't surprise me if some have already gotten bred. And
this new season's kind of weird. But speaking of turkeys, Chance and I were lucky, and we were talking. I don't know if you guys knew this or not on our last episode. If we had Drew there, I don't think we had.
I don't think so. I think we just found out a couple days ago.
I think we had just put in for it, maybe. But for our South Dakota hunt that we're going on in the end of May or middle of May, we drew our first tag, and then we found out by the guide, of course, that on a certain date you go into.
It's supposed to be I think it was today.
Yeah,
26.
26. You put in for
it's supposed to be at 8 a.m.
They wound up changing it to 2.
And they contacted us yesterday and they said, hey, it's going to happen at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, so we got on there and got our second tag. We're pretty sure. If everything looked right, it looks like we got it. It was the leftover tag. But so we all drew our first one, and I'm pretty sure we all got our second one. Yeah. So
and there was only 109 total leftover tags allotted for that unit that we're going.
And
there's
5 of us got
5 of us got them. So, so we're going to have a chance to kill 2 turkeys when we go to South Dakota.
And I hope we do too. 2 Merriams, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's all I know is that's 4 breasts.
That's right.
And they're going to eat good.
I bet we eat some there.
Oh, I hope so. We're crazy if we don't take set up some cooking stuff.
Surely they have something.
I'm sure.
Surely.
We probably at least take your cast iron or something.
Yeah, we probably better take a propane bottle and a cooker and a pot.
It's not a bad idea. We're taking a trailer. We got plenty of room.
Yeah.
I'd hate to get there and have to cook in an aluminum pan or something.
I think I'm going to take my bow too.
Oh, cool.
We'll see how it goes. But
man, this guy is feeling ambitious and optimistic.
You got 2 turkey tags.
That's true.
Kill one. Maybe kill one on the first day. We're going to be there for 3 days.
So shout out to the Beast Broadhead. What's it called? The turkey one?
Decapper.
Something like that.
Turkey decapper. I've got one sitting on
You're going to try that then?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be cool.
If everything, if we get there.
I say you should do your first one like that if you're a real man.
I'm probably going to try the
shotgun
Browning A5 for the first one. I'm thinking about putting a red dot on it, though.
I might use a Super Black Eagle 2 on the first one, then my second one use a Super Black Eagle 3.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I might take my bow. That's a cool idea. I mean, you got this extra tag.
Yeah.
That'd be a good. I mean, could you imagine being able to tell people forever that, yeah, I killed a Marion with a bow one time? That's pretty cool. That's not a bad idea. Let's take them.
I mean, if we get there and there's,
it might be stupid.
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
We bust one the first morning, and then we're like, all right.
Do they make TSS broadheads for turkeys? Because I know you could probably just point at it and they'll die then. TSS is wild stuff.
It'd be pretty sweet to shoot one's head off, though.
Oh, man. Yeah, it'd be real cool.
I don't know if I can. I don't know. It'd be tough.
That sounds fun, honestly. You got me fired up. I'm going to start shooting my bow. I had not even thought about taking I think you mentioned something the other day, and I actually didn't even process. I don't know why. I was thinking you're like just maybe like target practicing like in the daytime or something. I never thought about actually hunting with one. That don't cross my mind very much because I'm not a very good turkey hunter, so I need all the help I can get. A lot of guys are going to 410s, and I'm over here still shooting a 12 gauge because I need all the help I can get.
Oh, yeah. I'm still rocking the 12 gauge too. I mean, it's hard to get away from.
I agree. I mean, yeah, 410's a cool idea, but
it's cool because they're light and you can. I mean, you can get the short ones and throw them in your backpack, and I don't know. I just throw the old Browning over my shoulder and take off.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see what kind of terrain there is there.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to tell by pictures.
Yeah,
I mean, it looked like open fields. It looked like pine trees.
I'm sure some fence rows and stuff.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna wear just my normal turkey hunting camo for here. Bottomland.
Yeah,
or green leaf maybe.
I'll probably take I don't know. I'll probably take a few different things, but
subalpine. Do you have that?
Yeah, I've got some subalpine. I've got a little bit of that new cover stuff, and honestly, what I like if I'm in vegetation like that, I'm all about the marsh, the waterfowl marsh stuff. It looks good.
A lot of brown.
Yeah, Laramie and I would use that a lot on elk hunts, like in New Mexico, because you're in like that sagey looking
grass.
Yeah, and then that what's that orange stem stuff too? Is that sage? I guess maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, whatever there is.
It gets a little taller.
Yeah, yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, that's marsh looks pretty good in that. So I don't have anything, I guess, other than that. Yeah, subalpine probably is used to what I always turkey hunted in. It's good stuff. That new cover's really taken over though. That cover's cool.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's got that cedar look.
I bought all like more
cold stuff.
Cold. It's all heavier, vest and the thicker long sleeve. I don't know what temperature it will be.
I mean, I don't know what it'll be like at 6 a.m. in South Dakota. It may be cold. Who knows?
It'll probably be chilly.
I bet it will. I mean, it is May, but I don't know. Any other updates for our local area?
Let's see. I didn't really get a spring break, so no, just fishing.
You just work on your breaks, don't you?
Yeah, fishing a couple times, gigging, listen for turkeys. Haven't even looked for mushrooms yet.
I haven't either.
Probably won't until after. It's actually supposed to rain tomorrow morning. It's like 40% chance.
I didn't know
morning.
that. Yeah, good. We need a little.
And then it looks like next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's a few chances. So it might be. Possibly could be some rain on youth gigging tournament on Friday and Saturday.
Okay. I haven't even looked at the 10-day forecast.
But it was kind of lower chances, 30, 40s, maybe some 50% in there, which is still a week away, and you never know. The weathermen are not.
So really just cold tomorrow and Saturday, and then warms right back up on Sunday.
Right back we're getting back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Which is, when you get consistent 80s like that, the fish.
Yeah, it don't take long to warm stuff up.
It don't take long to get that water temp up and get
ground
stuff
temperature
rolling.
for mushrooms. Yeah,
So it's getting ready to pop.
Yeah,
so it'll be exciting. It's hard to find time whenever everything pops at once like that, and you're trying to get it all done. Suckers are in the creek, crappie are on the banks, mushrooms are, about need to take off work for a couple days and go enjoy it.
I'd say we just call in sick.
That's right.
Is that all right, Laramie?
Use some of our sick time.
We got the morale flu and the crappie shingles. So Chance and I were talking about how much, I think just because the history of the gigging tournament doesn't get talked about enough. And I know it does, like around fires and stuff, but a lot of people don't really know, I learned a lot the night with Henry. I know you knew most of it, but I didn't really know exactly when it started and who did this. And I know enough details just because I've lived here my whole life. But Chance and I were talking about, a lot of factual stuff, and Henry has done, our last guest on episode 18, John Henry Ward, Henry has done a phenomenal job on his website. It's jh2gigs, gigs.com. And there's a tab you can click on that says gigging tournament, and you can scroll through about the gigging tournament results, youth gigging tournament results, and also facts and statistics. There's all kinds of little things that he has done there, and he's done a really good job, documenting all of that stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of work went into it. He had to travel around to people's houses, and I know he got with my dad and Robin, and they had most of their stuff documented just by the trophies and plaques because they had the years on there.
Yeah, and they'd won so many or plaqued so many times that you had most of the day. Yeah, and of course, I think Henry even mentioned it last time. There's some empty holes there that he doesn't know, and and for some reason, if you're listening and get on the website and see some of his empty spots that maybe you're around at that time. But anyways, there's we thought about just kind of going back over. We were going to have another guest, and just time reasons and everything, we thought it was best just to kind of do this so we could just do more factual stuff. So if you enjoyed that last episode, and I'm assuming people did because I was looking at the stats on it today.
It had quite a few views.
Yeah, I didn't know if I showed you this on the Creator app.
No, I was.
It's only been out for, I think, 6 days or something. It has 145 plays already. So it's actually it's top 3 already. Anyways, yeah. Actually, no. I just lied to you. It's 162. Just updated. That was about 2 hours ago. It was 145. So it kind of hit a little good trail there. And anyway, so we thought must be it was a fun episode. Of course, a lot of those views are because of Henry himself. People admire him and he knows a lot about what he does. But anyways, Chance and I thought it'd be kind of cool just to go through some of the neat statistical stuff of the gigging tournament. Mainly, obviously, because it's that time of year. First of all, this is what Delaware County lives for. This is our
Super Bowl or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's our gig
Huckleberry Festival.
No pun intended.
Yeah, we got the Huckleberry Festival in the summer, cruise night, gigging tournament,
and that's without those 3 things, Jay's dead. Really,
pretty much.
Yeah, it's that's what we around here live for. So he had some cool stuff. I'll just kind of let him take over, and now I'll kind of go through here and just ask some questions that, as an outsider, some things that I think is cool or whatever. So yeah.
So one of the things that I was curious about was, like how many teams were in it? How many gigging teams were in it? Like back in the 70s, and it started in 73. And there was 47 teams that very first year.
That's impressive for the first year.
47 teams. There was 45 in it last year.
And that's just word of mouth. There was no Facebook back then.
Oh, yeah, right.
Not even a text message. That's just word of mouth and maybe a landline.
So I kind of wrote down a few key years.
47 teams in 74, you said?
73.
73.
And in the very next year, there was 40 teams, so they lost 7. Then the lowest number of teams that I could find, because there's some years on Henry's website that it didn't say the number of teams.
Right.
But
as
it looks
far
like
as documented.
As far as documented, in 1978 there was 29 teams.
Wow.
And that actually was the first year that my dad and Robin won their first gigging tournament.
Oh, that's the only reason they won then. It wasn't
probably not very many teams. Yeah,
I wish Wayne listened.
Yeah, like that.
But no, that's interesting in itself. Just, like to reiterate for those that don't know, this is a 2-man team, but even 29 teams in a little small town is still a pretty good turnout. But at the same time, there's been so many you can go on to tell some of the biggest ones.
So I'm just going to kind of go down the list here. These were some that I skimmed over all of them, and this was just a few things that stuck out. And there's a little bit of history here with things that had happened with the tournament itself. So that was 78. There's 29 teams. 1983, there wasn't a team number or team amount listed, but it was also a year that they voted on to go from unlimited horsepower on your outboard. They voted to 15 horse that year in 1983.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it did away with there were some 25s and 30s and 40s, 60s, whatever, and that's when it went to 15 horse was 1983.
So you think there was have you ever heard any, was there an accident that happened or anything that people?
No, I don't think so.
It's just more just make it all fair, kind of. Yeah.
Everybody have the same thing.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And that actually, I've heard old stories and stuff from my dad, and it made people mad. And some of the old timers is what they kind of acted like.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of them had 25 horses. That was pretty common.
So for 10 years it was open.
Yeah,
and then it got shut down to 15 only.
Yep. Let's see. So there wasn't a whole lot listed for the 80s. 1984, there was good weather on Friday. Saturday night, there was a rainstorm, and they gigged at the flats, but they moved the award ceremony over to the shelter house.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yep, because of rain. 1989, my aunt was actually the first woman to enter the gigging tournament. My Aunt Leanne.
Yeah. Who did she get in it with?
I don't know. It didn't say that, and I've never asked her.
Wow. So it wasn't another woman though, probably.
I doubt it.
Okay. Not her husband either at that point. No. She'd been too young. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who it would have been. I'll have to ask her.
Obviously, wasn't Wayne, or she'd have won.
Right. Yeah, I don't think she did any good, but she did. She did.
First
woman to enter. Then we're going to jump up there. There wasn't a lot of. It stayed pretty constant of about 40 to 50 teams throughout the 90s.
No statistical wows to the 90s.
No, mainly 30s, 30s, 40s, and it actually didn't get to 50 documented. In the year 2000, there was 54 teams.
Okay.
That was the first time over 50.
Gotcha.
Kind of stayed around that number for a couple years. 2003, there were 64 teams. Just kind of stepping up as time goes on. Just kind of. 2006 was the first year that they had it at the old schoolhouse.
Yeah.
Call it the Mud Dog year.
Mud Dogs.
The Mud Dogs. There's like 7 teams that traveled up the flats, getting out of their boat, dragging through mud.
Wall and Greg made shirts for everybody, right? Or Wall did, I think.
I think they did get some after
some shirts
after
for the
fact,
guys.
Yeah. But I think about all 7 of those teams plaqued except for maybe one. But they all did pretty good, first and second. And top 5 come from there for sure, I believe.
And they were probably killing fish in front of the flats, right?
Yeah,
they weren't really going up the creek anymore. Like
not really. I mean, you couldn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, it was kind of the little
about
hole
like
right
it is
there.
right now. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't just really anywhere to go.
Right.
But the fish still spawned, just like normal.
They're
still there.
Yeah.
So that was 06. 2008, there was.
Hang on real quick. 06 was the very first year at the schoolhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then last year was the second.
Yep.
And then this year will be the third.
This year will be the third.
Okay.
Yes. Jump to 2008. There was a flood, and I remember this because I was in it. 2008 flood about 2 weeks before the tournament, or a week, somewhere in there, and it was a bad one. And then there was another one that come, so we had to postpone the tournament a whole week, and it was still muddy. I mean, it was so bad people didn't even go up the creek.
If I remember
I
right,
think Joe Bingham was the only one. He had to go east.
Was there ever another time that they postponed the tournament a week?
Not since I've been in.
Okay, so I think it was 08 then. If I remember right, were we having a meeting at the flats and watching trees go by? Okay, that's what I thought. I remember being there.
There's ginormous trees floating by.
And I remember Wade was like, that right there, guys, why we can't have a tournament. He didn't say exactly like that. But
it was white capping out there like waves on the flats.
Yes.
There's so much water coming down.
I remember standing there looking like, wow,
I had to go. My camper was already there. I had to go down and move it up by the road.
Of course your camper was already there.
Have you
taken it down yet?
No, I'm going to this weekend.
I figured it's coming.
So that was 2008. There's 50 teams, so it went from 60s and it dropped down to 50. Could have been because of the flood.
Weather,
it got postponed. There was everybody playing. That was a big gripe from people. Like, we can't postpone it. We plan our vacations around. Right. So that could have been a part of there not being as many teams.
Yeah, which again just proves the fact that this is a way of life around here. I mean, people plan vacations for this tournament.
Right. Yeah. So that was 08. We jumped to 2010. There wasn't really a team statistic, but down at the bottom on Henry's little summary of the tournament that year, it had the first woman to ever place in the gigging tournament, and that was Nate Williams' wife, Julie.
2000 what? 10?
10. Yep, she got 4th place. Her and Nate.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
2011.
And still the only woman, probably?
As far as I know.
I remember that year. I remember she drove for him.
Yeah.
never thought about her being the only one, though, I guess, until you said that. That's cool.
I can't think of any.
Yeah, if we forgot somebody, it's our apology. But I don't think there has been either.
Correct us if we're wrong. Call us, text us, whatever. Yeah. So that was 2010. 2011. I remember this. The water was really low, about like it is now, really. But there's enough you could still put in at the flats. There's still enough water coming down the main channel. There's 48 teams, so it even dropped a little bit more. I was gigging with Wade Johnson that year.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the last times me and him placed in the gigging tournament. We basically didn't go out of sight from the ramp, and we killed like 150 points worth or something and got 8th place.
No kidding.
Yeah. Just right there by the ramp.
Hear the music all night, probably.
Oh, yeah. 2013, there's 72 teams. So that was a new record high for team amounts. That was also a year we got a digital scale to weigh the fish.
Yeah, that's right.
The year prior to that, there was a little bit of a screw up with the old scales. Mm-hmm. Some people's fish got weighed in kilograms, and then possibly didn't catch the screw up for just a little bit, quite a while. Had to go back and do a little bit of math and try to get everything right. So there was a big fit down there for that deal.
I remember that.
But the next year in 13, we got the new digital scales, and we're still using them. I think we got a couple sets now. Jumped to 14, 86 teams.
Yeah, that was a big year.
That was a big year.
Yeah.
That was actually the first year TJ and I started. We teamed up that year for the first time. We jumped to 2015, 84. So you got 86 and 14, 84 and 15. TJ and I's first year to win it.
Was 14 or
15?
Yeah.
Yep. Went to Phillips Hole, killed a bunch of red horse, won it that year. The next year, 2016, 91 teams.
Golly.
And that
I remember being down there thinking that.
Documented is the most.
Right. So
per Henry's website.
So from 40, was it lowest, right?
29.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, yeah. 29 to 91. I would say a good average is probably in the 65 to 75 area, wouldn't you say? I mean, probably like overtime.
Yeah, probably more 60.
Okay.
60-ish, I would call it.
What was last year?
That was 45.
Oh, wow.
45.
Wow.
So that was 2016, 91 teams. That was also the year that the Giggers voted out the E-Tech, basically. Or voted out modifications on a 15-horse engine. That lasted for
20 minutes or so.
No, it lasted for a couple years.
Yeah.
So actually, they voted on it in 2016 at the gigging tournament.
So to vote in 17.
When you sign up, there's a voting sheet. Voted out the E-Techs. Went into effect in 17. There's 77 teams in 17. So it went from 91 to 77.
Then they figured out if you can't beat them, join them. Now everybody has an E-Tech pretty much.
Right. I think back to E-Tech in 2021.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So it lasted for a couple years. So 2017 had 77 teams. Jumped to 2019, there were 68 teams. It was awesome Friday, and then Saturday it rained and it was cold and it was horrible.
And 20 was COVID year, right?
20 was COVID year. Jumped to 21. There's 51 teams, so it dropped.
And 21.
21, it dropped a bunch.
Yeah.
And then 24, back up to 67. And then 25, there's 45 teams. So it's kind of been up and down over the last.
I'd say 60 is probably
last
better
15
average,
last 15 years. It's been at an all-time high and almost at an all-time low.
Yeah. So back at the old schoolhouse again this year. Of course, that's driven by the lake levels, obviously, with the flat being so shallow. I mean, but I have heard some little comments from a couple of guys that they'd like to keep it there, and I hate that.
Yeah, I don't
hate it. I understand the reason. I get it. It's just I think because I live very close to the flats, and it's just tradition. But
yeah. I don't think it's good for the tournament itself.
Right.
The flats is closer to Jay. Way
safer road too.
Way better road. Closer to the southern end, southern end of Delaware County, where a lot of the giggers come from, also.
Right.
So I think the flats is optimal place.
Right.
We'll just have to see when they get the dam fixed and the lake fills back up and we get a flood, if the water wants to push back over to the main channel, because it's trying to go Old Creek side now.
Yeah.
And if we had just a little bit more room down there at the flats, it would be way better.
And that could be done. I mean, of course, the city of Tulsa have to be behind it, because there's a lot of clearing that could go out east of there. I mean, you could clear out a lot more campground area, and
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not. I mean, we're for sure on that. It's just it could be done if it was a possibility. But I guess having said that, it can't be done because the city of Tulsa is not going to allow that. But
so that was a little bit of team statistics as far as teams in it. 29 at the lowest and 91 at the highest.
That's a pretty big gap there. I mean, but I mean, I think a good average, like I said, probably 60. That's probably, like you said, probably closer to 60, 65, something like that. I was looking at some things on the website, and there's some cool little stats here. Fathers, sons who have won the championship as a team. So, like, this is a dad and son, on the same team that's won.
It's not very many of them.
No. On 2016, it was Jared Davis and his son Hayden. And then I'm assuming that's 22 and 23. Did they win back-to-back?
Yeah, they did win back-to-back.
Yeah, Nate Williams and Ian. So it's been done 3 times by 2 different father-sons. So Nate Williams and his son Ian won 22 and 23. And then Jared Davis and his son Hayden won in 16. And then there's brothers who have won the championship as a team. Another cool little stat here. Mark and Eddie Tudor, which is Chance's uncles, won it in 84. Tim and Don Reno won it in 86. Steve and Greg Wilson, whoever they are, I'm not really sure, says they won it in 91, 94, 97, 04, 05, 06, 07, 10, and 13. Man, those guys are the real deal. And then Trav and Jason Cornell, which is my wife's dad and uncle, won it in 2002, which was a point holder, like we said in the last episode, for quite some time until Chance broke the record 23 years later. And then Bacon and Jeremiah Summerfield won it in 2010. So those are the brothers who have won the championship together, being first place, obviously.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is cool. I mean, that's something
to be able to get along with your brother for 2 hours, 2 nights, and
I don't see you and BJ down there gigging.
No.
No, that's super cool. I guess me and my sister could get in it.
Yeah, that'd go over real good.
Yeah, I can only imagine. But then there's the next little statistic here is people who won championships with different partners. And it goes on to talk about John Henry Ward with Steve Lane, and then he won it with Doug Postoke, and then Bacon won it with Burt Rogers, and also won it with his brother Jeremiah. Stephen Wilson with Rodney, and then of course with Greg, his brother, Rodney Shuck, and then Greg Wilson. Jared Davis has won it with John Campbell and Hayden Davis, his son. And then Nate has won it with Thomas Tate and Ian Williams twice, his son. So there's some pretty cool stats there. This one's a cool one. This is definitely right up John Henry's alley here. Teams that won the championships and Big Fish Trophy in the same year, because that don't happen very often.
No, not according to him, and according to that.
Right. John Ward and Doug Postoke in 2011. Bud Bohall and Ken Douthit, I think they said, in 2003. Dave Chamberlain and Larry Glenn in 92. And then Nate and Ian in their first year winning it in 22.
With a 3-pound red horse or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It
was a sucker. It was a sucker that won Big Fish. There wasn't like any carp killed.
Wow. That's been a cold year.
It was cold, and the lake was like super muddy. I think you couldn't see anything.
So only 4 teams have won Big Fish and first place. And that just kind of goes to show you, because in theory, the tournament is a sucker tournament. I mean, in theory. Yeah. So,
and what did Henry say? That carp had only won it like 6. Well, no, he's won it 4.
I think 4 there. Let's see if that's.
I don't know if it has a stat about that. How many times carp have won it? I know Glenda Chamberlain, they won it 3 times. I'm pretty sure they get carp every time. So there's 3. Wade Smith won it once with carp.
I think he said 7 maybe.
Ken and Bud. Be 9.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Henry 4.
So out of 56 years that we would say we're on?
I never did look at that trophy to see what mine says.
I think it's something like that. So out of those 55, 6, 7 years, however long, we said it last episode probably, but
about nine,
about
or 10,
9,
maybe 10. I mean, oh no, Terry Looper and Jerry Black won it with carp one year.
Okay.
That was back in the late 80s, early 90s. I can't remember. So about 10.
Wow. That's not very many. I mean, that just shows you it's a sucker tournament. So to win the gigging tournament and big fish together, it obviously is not done very often because of that reason.
Yeah.
Because it's not even hardly won by carp very often, then I guess a fifth of the time. So here's another cool little deal. Most championships. Well, Chance, I'll let you go over that because I'm not on there, so I can't talk about it.
So obviously number one, Steve Wilson. He has 10.
10 championship trophies.
Yep. Number two is Greg, his brother and partner. Greg has won at 9. So Steve had an extra one with
Rodney
Shuck.
Yep.
Down to number 3, Robin Rogers. He won it 6 times. My dad is there tied with third 6 times because they gig together.
All the same years, yep. 78, 79, 83, 85, 90, 93.
Yep. Next we have John Henry. He's won it 4 times.
Yep.
And then there's a few who have won it 3 times. Myself and TJ Thomas 3 times. Nate Williams 3 times. Dave Chamberlain and Larry Glenn, they won it 3 times as a team.
Yep. And after that,
and then it drops down to 2, and there's a pretty decent list of 2. I mean, not just a whole lot. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 11. You've got Jared Davis, Doug Postoke, Bacon Summerfield, Steve Lane, Harold Spencer, Bob Hawkins, Larry Carter, Melvin Barton, Ian Williams, Kel Weiss, and Trader Osborne with 2. And then it just drops off to 1, and we don't even have a list of that.
Right.
Let's see.
Largest winning point margin.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So this is saying that, if first place had X, then second place at least had this much, and this is the biggest margin. The biggest lead would be Long and Dick.
Long Dick.
Was 376.45 points. That's a big lead.
Yeah, that's a huge lead.
You talk about, if they done good on night 1, you talk about night 2 is pretty relaxing, I bet.
Yeah. And that's probably Manfred Long and Everett Dick, I would guess.
In 74.
Yeah.
And then Barton and Carter in 77 had a 329-point league. In 2005, Wilson and Wilson, being Steve and Greg, Wall and Greg, had a 295-point league. Looks like John Henry and Steve Lane in 95 had a 252-point. That's a big lead for carp giggers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you got to think, usually if a carp giggers win, those suckers are right in there pretty close. I mean, that's a 252 pounds of carp bigger than the next bag.
They're either right in there or the sucker's already done.
Yeah, that's true. Chance and TJ in 25, which is last year when they broke the record, they had a 238.52 cushion there. Wilson and Wilson again in 94 had a 234.75. And then Rogers and Tudor, which would be Chance's dad, and Robin in 93 is a 189. Wilson again in 04 with a 188. Davis and Campbell with in 2012 with 166. And then Weiss and Osborne with 157. And even 157 points, like just because that's only top 10, that's a lot of points in the game tournament.
Oh, yeah.
And they're usually there's been well, here we go. Here's the next one.
Yeah, this is where it's.
This is more interesting. So to give you an idea, there's been as many as 376 points between first and second, and down the top 10 is 157. And then you look at this margin. This is the smallest winning point in margin, and this is in 82. Spencer and Hawkins had won it by 2.31 points. Was the smallest.
They're 1 and 2. Wow.
Yeah, and then they had two close years. In 76, they done it again with only 3.0 points of margin. Wayne and Robin in 78, 4.0. Wilson and Wilson in 2013 with 6.17. I mean, these are something that's usually how the tournament is, like 10 points, 5 points, 15 points. I mean, it's
not much.
Right, it's 1 fish, 2 fish. I mean, been a lot of tournaments lost by 1 fish.
Yeah, those weigh-ins are pretty nerve-wracking.
Yes.
I mean, to lose or win by 2.331
right.
points, I mean, that's nothing.
For sure. 2.3.
Should have gigged that creek chub that you saw there.
Yep.
Gig them all.
Right. Kill everything you can.
Yep.
There's some consecutive top 10 finishes. That's kind of neat. Henry's done a good job. Once again, just check out his page, jh2gigs.com. And a tab, like I said, their tab up top that just shows so many cool little statistics. Here's a carp statistic for the carp viewers. Most big fish trophies. John Henry Ward with 8. That's impressive. Doug Postoke with 5, which have been done with John Henry. Claude Sixkiller with 3. Brian Wilkins with 3. Steve Lane with 3. And then 2 times is Steve Wilson, Greg Wilson, George Proctor, James Harmon, Jimmy Tagg, John Ward, Matt Matthews, and Ralph Henderson have all won at least 2 times. And I'm sure the list goes on to ones, obviously. So quite a few big trophy wins there for Henry. 8 of them. That's a
lot.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a tough one to beat.
Yeah, for sure, because he'll continue doing so as well.
Oh yeah.
What about is there anywhere on here that shows like some of the biggest fish?
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Yeah,
I think it was Wade
and Charlie. The biggest big fish, largest big fish in 2002. Actually, let's start from the bottom. In 2006, Studi and Proctor had a 28.3 pound carp. I'm assuming these are all carp, obviously. In 2014, Sixkiller and Wilkins had a 29.07 pound carp. In 2008, Weiss and Weiss, which would be Kel and his brother Dylan, or Bubby, 29.3. 1999, Looper and King with a 29.4. 83, Spencer and Hawkins, one of those same years that they won earlier, 30.4. Harmon and Law in 94 had a 30.5 pound carp. John Henry and Steve Lane in 2000 was a 31.5 pound carp. Glover and Tanner in 95, 33.5. Chamberlain and Glenn in 92, quite some time ago, 34.7. And this, the biggest carp ever killed, biggest fish ever killed in the gigging tournament is it, we believe, is a question mark here, 2002 by Smith and Smith. Is that
Wade Smith? And I believe he was gigging with Charlie Smith.
Was that his brother or any relation?
They might be cousins.
Okay.
I don't think it's his brother.
Okay. 34.9 pound fish. That's
big.
They just beat that by 0.2 ounces from actually a 10-year record from 92 to 2002. They barely beat it.
Those are some hammer.
Those carp. Are hammer carp, man. I've done a lot of bow fishing. I'm telling you, that's a big, because they don't have. I shouldn't say they don't have. There are grass carp in Lake Coochie, but we're talking about that. I think Henry said that one's never been weighed in. Is that right?
No.
Yeah. So there's been a couple killed there.
Yeah,
I know.
I've seen
from
one,
bow fishing.
Seen one actually get shot.
Right.
By Kenton.
Kenton Heath. Yeah. So for an actual common carp, which is what Uchi mainly has as far as carp, 34.9 pounds is a giant carp. Obviously, probably full of eggs.
I wonder what the state record is. Is it going to be like 40 pounds or something?
Probably 42, I think. I feel like it used to be. Here's the smallest big fish. And I won't go all the way down because some of them are, they're just 12, 15, 16 pounds. But the smallest big fish ever won, like Chance was saying earlier, was that sucker with Williams and Williams, would be Nate and Ian, his son. In 2022 is 3.31. So chances are right, 3.31 pound sucker.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was a red horse or if it was a lake sucker. I believe it was a red horse because I'm pretty sure they went way up the creek.
Oh, here's some cool statistics. Youngest champs, Rodney Shuck, which has been the year he probably won it with. Golly, to think he was that young in 81. Rodney Shuck won in 81 at 15 years old. Ian Williams in 22 at 17. Thomas Tate in 01 at 18. Hayden Davis in 16 at 18. Ian Williams again in 23 at 18 years old, which would be a year older. Steve Wilson in 81 was 18. Wayne Tudor in 78 was 19. That's unreal. John Henry was 20 in 95. Nate Williams was 20 in 2001. And Robin Rogers was 20 in 78. Wow.
It's pretty young. Here's a little stat.
Yeah, back to that common carp.
The common carp state record in Oklahoma, and this is on the unrestricted division, so which means it's not caught on a rod and reel. It's either gigged or noodled or trot line, a bow and arrow,
something.
And it was actually bow fished, and it was 48 pounds, 13 ounces.
When was that?
That was in 2010 on Broken Bow Lake.
Golly.
It was 40 inches long, and the girth was 32 inches.
So that record itself has been held for 16 years, and at 48. So you can imagine what gigging a 35-pound carp feels like. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Which you're talking about unbroken. That's a giant common.
Yep. State record for grass carp is 77 pounds.
Yep, I remember that.
I gigged one down at low water. I was probably 18, 17. I think it weighed like 60.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet that's a fight.
That was the only one I've ever seen down there.
Did you have to let go of the gig?
No.
Dang.
It was actually we was pulling back up to load the boat, and he was laying right there beside. And he went to take off, and I basically just held down on him, and he stayed right there.
Wow, that's impressive.
I have a picture of it somewhere. I'm laying down beside it, and it's like as big as me. You know, they're freaking 5 foot long.
Anyways, there's a lot of cool stats on here. You guys should take a gander on it. He's got every year that he has, as far as any kind of information on, he has on here. Pretty cool. So we were talking about we talked about having a guest on. Of course, right now everybody's kind of getting in the mode and probably kind of sealed lips and stuff. And we thought, we'll just jump on here and do it ourselves. So we got some episodes coming up on turkey hunting and fishing and a few other things. But we thought it'd be kind of cool just because it seemed like a popular topic, just because it's that time of year. I mean, guys that don't even gig like myself are getting their boats out, and it's just something in the air. You can just kind of feel when it's like, hey, it's time to hit the lake. It's time to gig and listen about, because let's just say this. What other podcast out there talks about green country gigging? No. I don't think there is one.
Nope.
We might have made our history. First podcast to talk about gigging in Lake Uchi.
Are you going to enter?
I think so. That's what John says he will if I am. So
all right.
Need me a motor, man. I don't want to pull around from old schoolhouse up to the creek.
Heck yeah.
I'm terrible. It's fun. John and I have a good time. It's something we get to do, kind of get away from work and have fun. I'm sure both of us one day will be doing it with our sons. So maybe we'll get one of those father-son championships one day. If I can teach Max, or if you can teach Max how to gig, maybe we can get that done, because he ain't going to learn nothing from me.
How many times have you been in the gigging tournament? 4, 5, 6?
Yeah, I think 5.
Me and you got in it once. You've been in it with John once.
Been in it with Kent. So 4 times. I've been in it with Kent twice, I think. Maybe 3 times with Kent. I've got a few just right there at it. I mean.
And you went after sucker every time?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Because you're a bow fisher.
I know,
and
but
you got the carp, and then.
I'm a realist too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know where there's fish up the creek, and I've been bow fishing that out there, and I don't have a setup to kill 500 or 600 pounds of fish, so without a bow. But yeah, the only time we ever went west was that bad year, and Kent and I went to Wheat Holler. His dad told us, he said, "Hey, there's always some sucker out." We were young, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And dude, we went up there and we killed that first night. I wish you remember what year that is. We'd look it up.
That was 2007.
That sounds right. Yeah, that first night was terrible.
It was cold and maybe raining.
I think
windy.
Kent and I were sitting in 18th place after the first night, and we had the only thing Kent and I had going for us all those 2 or 3 years were a fast boat. Him and I. I'm talking before he takes
fast.
So him and I could run 28.
Was that the Gray Johnson?
Yep. 99 model Gray Johnson and a 1442. 36. It was a 36.
Lake John.
Yep. And we could run
that
about.
Was immaculate.
With a GPS before phones could do it. His dad let us borrow his GPS from the forestry. We run about 28.7. Yep. And I'm talking we were getting it. So we're sitting in 18th on the. This is kind of my only cool gigging story, I guess. We're sitting in 18th on the first night. I think we killed 4 fish maybe or something like that.
It didn't take much.
2 or 3, 4 fish. And the next night,
I think we killed 10, and we were sitting at 10th.
Okay, yeah, so that's probably about right. We probably killed 4,
which was not. I mean, I don't remember the number, but it was low.
Generally speaking, I'll just from what my consensus. Generally speaking, the first night you're going to score better, right? And the second night's always a little bit trashier because of a lot of pressure and stuff. So having said that, I think we killed 4 fish the first night. So we're thinking night 2, if we can listen to Tim. I mean, he knows more about this than we do. We're young, we're like I said, 18 years old probably. And we went to Wheat Holler, and Kent and I took turns gigging just because it was tough gigging. But we wound up killing, I think, 16 fish.
16, yeah.
And
everybody killed about 16.
Yeah, but we did. The first night we were watching people weigh in 4 and 5 and 8, and
We got her one.
Dude, I knew we weren't. I told him, I said, I kept punching him in the leg. I was like, we're going to black, man. All the way back, we were running 28 mile an hour. We're going to black, dude. We're going to black. Finally, we're going to black. And we wound up getting, I believe, I wish somebody had the paperwork. We either got 11th or 12th that year.
And it took 232 points to win that year, so not many.
Golly.
That's a low year.
What was 10th place?
There's not a stat for it. That's second place was 191 and first was 232, and there's not a stat after that.
I believe
it wasn't. I have those papers at home.
We could look, but I believe Kent and I lost a plaque by 2.3 points, if I remember right, or 1.8, something like that. It was not much. I remember thinking, man, I was sick to my stomach, man. Closest I ever been. I mean, who cares about that story, right? But it was just one of those years, like, man, the whole way back from Old Schoolhouse to the flats, I thought we're doing it, man. I was looking at those fish, I counted them over and over. I couldn't believe how many we had, and we'd lose 2 or 3 fish in the mud every now and then, or a fish or two in the mud. I bet we lost probably 4 that night because we'd hit one. We were gigging them pretty deep, and we'd push it into the mud and couldn't get it back out. We'd go round and round and round trying to find it. And you talk about sickening when you get back there. Just one more fish would have done it,
right?
But that's part of it. That's the only kind of my cool story. I never got on this website for anything. Maybe for the oldest guy ever one day. I highly doubt that. But anyways, we thought it'd be kind of cool just to kind of go through some of the facts. And we could bore you guys for forever.
If that did interest any of you, just get on Henry's website.
He's done a good job.
I printed off just kind of the highlights, and there's all kinds of stuff.
It's cool. Yeah, it's pretty neat for sure. And with this website, I mean, you can also shop. I mean, the whole point of this is to get on here and find out what gig you want and what you heard Henry the other day. You got to be patient. I mean, he's a busy man and he does them certain times a year, but he's got some shirts on there and some gigs you can kind of add to your cart, just like if you were shopping anywhere. And he'll come to him and he'll send an email. And anyways, there's some cool stuff. A little bit of story about Henry as well on here, how he got into gig making, and which you guys heard that on episode 18. Cool website, though. Henry did a good job putting that together. I don't know if his wife helped him with it or what, but I'd say probably.
I printed this off. I was trying to think of why. 1977. So there was 30. Oh, because I thought it was going to be the lowest amount of teams. So I think I printed it off. There was 34 teams. And this was also the year that the Big Green Traveling Trophy. Yeah. That was the year that it got added.
Okay. So before that was nothing?
Yeah, it was just, I think, the first year they gave away 3 plaques or trophies.
Okay.
So back in the 70s, 80s, they give those big old trophies. If you got 10th place, you got a trophy that's 5 foot tall because they didn't really have plaques, I guess. So there's 34 teams that year. The Traveling Trophy was added, and it also says the lake was 13 foot below normal, and it was not held at the Clay Bank, which is the flats. It was held west of Highway 10 Bridge on the north side by the apple orchard. So it's been at the apple orchard before also.
Okay. So 3rd year at Old Schoolhouse, 1 year at Apple Orchard, and the rest have been at the flats.
Yep.
Has it ever been like at that Phillips Cove point?
No. I mean, not that I know of, not that I've ever heard, and not that was documented.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool little area.
I think so, too. I
still don't think it's big enough.
Probably not.
And the bank's not.
It would be interesting.
The bank's not like sloped either.
It'd be interesting because the bank is rounded. I mean, there could be some potential good boat races out there.
Oh yeah.
Because you might not see the guy that's 100 yards around the corner there. And
yeah.
The gigging tournament, and I know most of our viewers, I mean, they're like, listen, guys, we've been to it a million times, but if you haven't, it is something to see. It's the second weekend of April. It's a shotgun flare. I mean, that means they shoot a flare in the air and everybody takes off at once. Besides those in neutral. Neutral has to wait until the second flare, which is usually 1 minute. Is that what it is?
I think it's 1 minute, yes.
Yeah. So neutral just means basically the guys that say I'm not in that big a hurry to screw up something, so I'll just wait here until the second
just
flare.
Let the smoke clear and then just jump in there. And
get these idiots out of here, and then I'll take off. No, but there is probably not a rush out there like the shotgun flare or the flare takeoff.
Waiting on 9 o'clock.
And what used to be, I remember when I was I probably got in 2006 maybe for my first time, something like that, maybe a junior. And this is before, I guess people had watches, but nobody just walk around constantly telling you at the time. Or if they were, they was wrong. I got 901. I got 857.
Yeah, because it's not like you had a a phone that was set.
Right.
Everybody had the same time.
Right. You had to like
you
had to set your time on your phone back then too. It wouldn't just do it through your signal. Now everybody has the exact same time. So, which I don't know if it makes it worse or better. But I just remember back then just being nervous. Like, dude, would you shut up? Well, I got 9:03. Somebody's late on the flare. Well, I only got 8:56.
Yeah.
So you didn't know when it was going to go off. Now they're like, hey, 12 seconds. And I'm talking, it goes off. Yeah, it's spot
right
on.
on the money.
Yeah.
Because whoever's watching it, I mean, they're just sitting there. As soon as it changes from 8:59 to 9, they.
Yep, that's right.
And you can hear it, and then you see it, and then the rest is just a blur.
It is. It is a blur.
Just hope you get in the boat.
I'm telling
you. Hope you get the boat pushed off the bank and jump in and put your head down. And
probably the only thing I've ever done good in the tournament is takeoffs. Kent and I, even you and I, John and I have always had good takeoffs. I mean, I've been second up creek, first up creek, third up creek. I mean, we've had some good. We're always pretty fast. Of course, I'm heavier now. But back then, I was a little skinnier. But it don't matter how fast you get up there if you can't gig.
That's right. Can't gig them going 40 mile an hour.
That's right. And when Walt Wilson pulls up beside you, and Kent one time screamed at me, he said, "Would you just start killing fish?" And I said, "I can't even see him." And Walt's just whoosh, whoosh, just throwing him in the boat.
That probably made it was a pretty good area, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gigging by
right there at Canutchee. And, yeah, I watched Walt gig probably 14 or 15 fish, and I think I finally killed 2. And Kent and I kind of got into, just young kids. I said, well, you get up here then. And he get up there, and he said, dang, I can't see nothing either. And we didn't know. We were young, but we didn't really know what we were looking at. It just looked like chocolate milk to us. But, man, Walt's he's got the eagle eye. He's got the vision on it.
He's good.
Tiger
he's
vision.
The man.
Yeah, he's a real deal. Anyways, there's a lot of cool stories, a lot of cool facts. I'm sure there's stuff that you may be sitting there thinking like, hey, I don't wonder why John Henry didn't add this to the website.
Yeah. So if you know anything, contact Henry.
Henry loves that kind of stuff, and he has done his due diligence to go around. Like Chance said, he's went and made weekends out of it, just stopping at old man's house and visiting with him about this one and talking about this one, and he has done his work that he can do. So he's always telling people, if you got something you want to add to it, or let me know, or if I'm missing something, or hey, I don't have the right trophy.
I mean, there's honestly not just a whole lot missing.
Right. He's done a good job
for
50
the
years.
lack of records being kept over the years. Like there's a lot of records in the gigging trailer. Used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still there, but I think Henry got a lot of knowledge from there.
Yeah. Henry's done a phenomenal job putting it all together. And it's cool. It's digital now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can print it off. You can look at it on your iPad, phone, computer. I mean, it obviously wasn't even recorded like that at one point for him to go back and, find all the Rolodex, if you will, and put it all in play. So kudos to Henry. Henry's not even here on our episode 19. It's like he's a part of it again. He's done a good job with that. So, yeah, check out his website. Give him some feedback, and if you have anything to add to it. I don't think Chance and I have much more. This is a short episode. I mean, just we kind of thought we'd just piggyback off Henry just because it was so interesting. And honestly, every time I talk about gigging, I
get a little bit more old history and some stuff that maybe there was even a few things in there that I didn't know, like that gigging tournament being held at the apple orchard.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd heard that there had been one somewhere, but wasn't for sure. And Henry had it jotted down on his website, and
we talked about getting Chance's dad on here. He'd have some cool information. He'd have some cool stories. Maybe one day get him on. That'd be cool. We got to make sure it's a daytime one though, because he's
maybe on a Wednesday after work. Or
meet him at 6 in the morning or something. He's I'll be going to bed at 7.
I've been up since 3. He'll get up.
Yeah. Well, guys, I was hoping my bone pile would be bigger. Last year we brought home 18 sheds and had some dandies. This year was tough, and we didn't get to go as much. Hot weather and busy, and had to leave a day early. So
didn't Parker find couple hammers right after
I left, man. I got home that night. It's about an 8-hour drive there. I got home that night, and he texted me and said, "You're fixing to be mad at me." And I said, "Don't send it." I knew exactly what that meant.
Don't send it.
And he sent it, and it was a picture of 2 hammers. And I mean, they weren't giants, but they were 140.
Oh yeah, typical Texas looking buck.
100%.
Had to have been wide,
and they were both fresh.
Tall.
Dude, he had some videos of some deer before I went there.
They were
holy. I said, Parker, with everything in you, every time you fly, go check that spot and see if those deer shed. And what's crazy is that morning we were flying, I saw a group of 8 deer. 2 of them had full gear, and 1 had 1 horn. So there were still 5 horns out of 16 that were still holding. So that makes things tough.
Yeah, that's.
Don't get me wrong. There's still 11 on the ground somewhere, but man, it made it.
Dang near April, and they're still
right. And I don't know if any of those
30% of the deer
Right.
will possibly
For sure
have their antlers.
I mean, that goes from an 11 count pile to 15 or 16 pretty easy just by those things herding and shedding. But I got to find a little matching set. It's in there somewhere. I don't know exactly where it's at, but it was in a wheat field right beside each other. It's kind of cool. I saw them from a distance and thought it was kind of neat that they're – that's kind of loud. Sorry, I'm grabbing these horses. I saw them from a distance, and this little set here, if you're watching, was laying – I mean, just dang near, like they just fell off his head. I mean, obviously, they weren't maybe 3 foot apart.
What do you think that's like, year and a half year old?
Yeah, probably, yeah. And those are fresh. They still got the wax ring on them. They were in a wheat field,
broke
obviously.
off on them.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd have been a giant if he didn't lose that. But yeah, that's and I love finding sets. I mean, I have found probably, I've been blessed. I've probably found, I don't know, 15 or 20 sets probably. Only about what I've got, probably 7 or 8 of them on the wall.
Probably.
If they're a good set, I'll have a chance to put them on a Mountain Mike skull mount or what's the other brand? We just started doing another brand. Didn't we? What was it called?
Oh, Illusions.
Illusions, that's right. Yeah. So both of those are – so if you find a cool set, that's something you can do. If you ever find a cool set, they make these plastic skulls that just, they look legit too. Like from a distance, there's been guys that walk up to my house and think those are all dead deer or, deer heads. But, of course, when you start looking at them, you can
if they're
tell.
hanging up high, you can.
Yeah, I mean,
they're like,
they look pretty good though. Yeah. So, anyways, you can screw a screw through them into the base and position them how they should be, and it's kind of cool. The cool thing about that is you get to hold what that deer probably looked like at one time.
Right. Instead of just holding the sheds up, and kind of
wonder. You get to actually hold the head. Yeah.
It's actually screwed on there. You're like, okay.
Yeah. So I think I have. I think I have 7, maybe 6 or 7 of those that are screwed. They're pretty cool. So, anyways, yeah, it's always cool. This is actually a set. That's super loud. Sorry, guys. Should have put a piece of carpet down or something. But this is a set that was found pretty close to each other. A little broke off piece, and that piece is actually here.
Oh, you found it too?
Yeah. Pretty cool. Anyways, little Texas buck there, but he's old. He's at least 2 years old, probably 3. And I don't know. I mean, these sheds don't really rot there or get chewed up too bad, but they just dry.
Chalky,
they get chalky fast. So it could be a year old, could be 2 years old, but in Colorado, dude, this shed would probably be this shed could be 20 years old, and you might not know it. They turn to chalk there and they stay there. It's like it preserves them, and they'll be there forever like that. So, anyways, not my best outing, but definitely not my worst.
It's pretty good. So pretty good little collection though.
Yeah, I mean
throw in the pile.
Got one from here that we had on the last episode, and the rest are from Texas, and yeah. I need to get out there a little more. Man, I'm already starting to get freaked out about ticks and chiggers, but
they're out too, and snakes.
Yeah, I know that's part of life, I guess. Well, I don't have anything else to you.
No, just kind of a little short episode this week.
Yeah.
We
like to keep something coming.
A lot of stuff going on with us this week, and family stuff, and getting back from spring break, and
but, always kind of some scheduling conflicts too. Yeah. We've got 3 or 4 different guys that are committed 100%. We're just trying to work them here and there, and then a couple of them aren't really this genre. So we thought, hey, we need to piggyback on this gigging tournament while it's coming up. Yeah.
Bring a little insight to the gigging tournament.
Yeah.
And, for sure. Next week we'll probably be back with a guest next week, I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll definitely have more time next week, and
we've been reaching out to some different people, trying to get some bigger guests, and that's some things we're trying to work on. So we want to see Brush Creek Podcast grow as much as you guys do, or more probably. And we appreciate every view, every like. There's a few guys. Excuse me. There's a few guys that are really good about sharing everything. Man, that helps. All that little outreach stuff helps. The more people you share it with, the more your friends see it, the more they might share it or come follow it and like it. And we've been hung up like on 1.1 thousand for a long time. It finally went to 1.2, but man, I want to get on the next level. I'd like to reach 10 grand, sometime, and who knows what can happen. So we'll keep trying to reach out,
keep on keeping on, and see where it takes us.
Keep trying to grow that radius, and reach out there, and hopefully Brush Creek Podcast one day is one of the biggest things on Spotify, or Apple or whatever. So that's our goal. I know probably not you guys' goal, but keep listening. We can make a goal ourselves or with each other. So, I don't have anything else to tell them. Chance, you good?
Nope. I don't have anything else.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah, short one for sure, but this might help you. I'm sure there's times you're like, golly.
They ever shut up?
2.5 hours?
Chaz ever quit talking?
No kidding. He doesn't either. He talks in his sleep, I think. Man, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share. Like I always say, do all the things that you guys know how to do. Help our podcast grow. Help the viewers find us, and we appreciate all the feedback we're getting. You guys have been a phenomenal audience, and we cherish every minute of it. So episode 19's in the books.
19's done.
All right, man. Thank you guys.
We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.